Yo, what is up, everybody? Sorry for the long wait in between videos. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. I will say this is the third war of season 60, 61, 62. Not 100% sure, but whatever's going on right now, that's the season this is from. Yeah, man, I fell behind 2 wars, and I don't know, I just wanted to get back ahead of stuff, so I decided to just skip those 2 wars. We had some really, really clean fights, and then some really not so good ones. But I was just like, okay, let me go to War 3 so I can get caught up and I can stay ahead before I get too busy and I get a little bit cooked. So this war, NewN we matched PBT. My team is Guardian, Wags, and Mojo. And my first fight here, Korg on Node 1. The plan here is pretty simple. I'm just going to be doing my best to limit his regens. Mojo's SP2 and his heavy is all energy, so you see here with Wags, I can freely parry light heavy him. Right here, I'm backing up because I gave him 2 regens, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wait for those to fall off. And, you know, if I give him a couple regens, it's not a big deal. You can see I'm playing this a little bit slow, so I'm not gonna get to my SP2, even though I am hitting him. I'm not getting to my SP2, hopefully, before I can get my Fury. Although, no, I just throw it. It's fine. Because with this next prompt, I'll also put a hater buff on him, which will give me MD. So yeah, here, get dodge a hit. So we're gonna dex his SP1. I was getting a little close to my SP3, so I was just like, whatever. I'm gonna throw the first hit into his thorns. And now we can see he's taking for a solid almost 9k. Get the idle there. The idle prompt is one of my favorites with Mojo because it definitely makes the opponent also idle, which I find really funny because you should both stand there and wait. So yeah, that fight, super easy, super clean. Then we have Node 10 Maestro, which ironically didn't go super duper well. But we're going to see that here. There, I accidentally parried, which was not good, but it's not a huge deal. The bad part was I got stunned an opponent, but thankfully I get him to throw a heavy, so I can hit him with my heavy and re-roll my prompt. And this is why the fight gets a little drawn out. He gets a glancing buff when I don't have my atrophy or my anti-life up. And there, I hit his block, but because it glanced, my prompt didn't trigger, but I guess the prompt re-rolled to throw a heavy attack. Not sure how any of that happened, but all good. Get the second SP2 off. Doing good damage. I accidentally give him a regen there, thinking I must have thought I had my thingy up. Anti-life here. I go for an SP1, just not lose my prompts. Which again slowed down the fight a little bit, but I wasn't super duper concerned. Gonna knock him down here, lower his charges a little bit. We get punish a special. I'm like, please just throw it, sir. Punish the special, but it glances, and I guess now it's use a special attack. Kind of annoying because it doesn't pop up on screen, the new prompt, which is why I think kind of tripped me up, because the last time I took this fight, that never happened. Because I nuked him faster, and it was also a rank 3, so I kind of killed him before we got to the point of me glancing a lot, but overall not a big deal. I mean, that's a super freebie with Mojo. And now we got a real fun one. We got Mojo versus 25 Serpent. I will be popping a Wags for this fight. Just because I'm taking a bunch of fights with only Mojo this war, so I kind of was able to get away with the Wags. Shout out my planner, WhiteMummy. He hooked me up with the glorious team and with the Wags. So yeah, just gonna make this fight a little bit easier. If I ever get the prompts to parry him or heavy him, or knock him down. It'll be super easy to just parry heavy. And yeah, you can see I'm already at 3 charges for this fight, which is just going to make it all the more faster. As soon as I finish with this fight, I'll be pretty much max ramped. Well, no, I will just be max ramped, but even having 3 charges it's plenty. Especially for a fight like this, not super crazy. I popped a combat regen just because. A lot of the other grade boosts wouldn't have done much for me. I'm in a PS1, I guess would have got me to an SP2, but you can see I'm already at an SP2 right when I got to 5, regardless, so I would have just gotten pushed to SP3. You can see having the ability to just parry heavy is super good here. There, I wanted to push him to an SP2 because I'm like getting a little bit cornered. But you can see I get back to another SP2 and he's just going down super fast. He's taking for over 10k. Here, I could have gone for an SP2, but I want to get a new prompt, just so I can get a new anti-life, and that way when I push him to death immunity, and it expires super quickly, and there he goes. 55 seconds, 90% health, not too shabby. Up next, we got another fun one, Mantis on 34. This is the main reason I popped a combat regen, because if you have a regen effect, Mantis's Tranquilize cannot apply to you. So popping a combat regen is an easy way to guarantee yourself 30 seconds of free parries. And spoiler alert, 30 seconds is all I'm going to need to kill her. Because now we're starting with the Fury, which is awesome. Here I'm like, alright, just going to throw this SP2. But she decides, no, you're not going to throw the SP2, I've decided. So I'm like, okay, bet. Throw the heavy to reroll my prompt. Throw my SP2. She's close to dead. I'm trying to be a little conservative here so my SP2 goes into the sleep, but there was really no need because the SP2 itself killed her. Yeah. Cool little 28-second fight. And next, we have a really cool one. We have no 39 Yelena, which I could have mojoed this, but I do believe Guardian's a better option. Just because Guardian is super duper tanky against Yelena, and I just love the interaction with him. With him being like parrying her SP1 gives you so much power, but it also gives her so much combo. Which you'd be like, oh, why would you want to give Yelena combo? But obviously she has her thing where she caps your attack rating when she's in observation, which means I need to put her into Elim so my charges, my like force field charges actually boost my SP2 damage. So the TLDR of that YAP session is I want to push her into Elim, then SP2 her, and it will nuke her off the face of the earth. To help with that, at the start, I'm just going to abuse Rich Get Richer and hit her block. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to get to my SP3, because I know SP3, SP2 will kill her. This is all the ramp I'm going to need. I am going to bait an SP1 first from her, because I just want to dump her power a little bit. And you can see here, she's getting a little stingy. My goal in this fight is to not get cornered by her, so I'm using the SP3 here just for a little bit of spacing. You can see there at the end, I parried the last bit of her SP1, even though I wasn't max power. But this, again, it's just to build her combo up. So when I get to my SP3, or sorry, my SP2 after this, she will be an Elim. That gives her a decent chunk of combo, and yeah. Just gonna sit here, parry her SP1. You can see the hits that crit me do actually bleed me. But obviously, I'm both resistant to the bleeds, and when the hits themselves do 0 damage, you can see I've parried 3 full SP1s, 4, I'm still at 97%. Now that she's in a limb, every hit is a guaranteed crit, so they do, in fact, hit a little bit harder. Here, I'm like, alright, I'm getting to my SP2. There, I take a couple of blocked hits, which is definitely unideal. Didn't really mean to do it, but not a big deal, because that SP2 absolutely dissolved her health bar, and cool little fight. Just picking up these screenshots so I can add them to my little folder in case I'm looking for a video later. And up next, we have Node 41 Thanos, and I'm healing up Guardian for some reason, but Totally fine. That's for the last fight of this video. For this Thanos, we are going to be using, of course, the Mojo Jojo. I pop an invul just to be safe, but it's an absolute waste. You're going to see when Mojo's maxed ramp and the opponent's like someone like Thanos who has a little bit of buffs, I'm just going to absolutely nuke him. The main problem is his protections. Like, you're going to see I'm doing so much damage, honestly, too fast. Like, he's going to throw this. I'm going to get good power, but not insane power, so I bait this. I don't think I SP2, do I? No, I'm waiting to get this next prompt, and it was use a special, so I'm like, perfect. Throw the SP2, already triggers his protection, so you see, like, those 6D gens don't do as much as I want them. I throw another SP2, he's already at the next protection, so we're just in a cycle of me doing too much damage, but that's always a good problem to have. Another SP1 by him, and I'm right back to another SP2, and once again, it hits his next protection. So, I mean, this is super, super cheesy. Here I get rooted, but it's totally fine. I have my relic to break out of it. And last SP2 for the win. Yeah, that's just an absolute joke of a fight with Mojo. Obviously, plenty of options. I can take that fight, but yeah, max ramp Mojo is max ramp Mojo. This is the fight I've been saving my last wags for. We have 45 Cersei, which honestly is a funny placement. I don't think I've seen this in a while, but just lining her up for the big Mo to knock down. Cersei's kind of interesting because, you know, she gets her little transmutation buffs, and if I can get her to throw an SP2, she'll convert them all into Furies, and that's like good damage. But really, when you have a 5 charge Mojo, it's kind of impractical to be pushing like Cersei to SP2s on Hazard Shift, because I'm not really going to be hitting here. Here you can see her, I just had 3 buffs on her expire in an instant, so I'm already almost at an SP2. Just need to trigger this next prompt, which is where I get a little unlucky. There, my medium triggers her glance. I'm like, bruh, because it means now I can't throw my SP2. But that's totally fine. I mean, you could even argue in some contexts that the SP3 is better here, because it can only trigger 1 hit of Hazard Shift instead of the 4 that the SP1 or the SP2 triggers. But on the other hand, I'm missing out on the actual damage of the SP2. Regardless, I am ticking for around 12k, and she is almost dead. So I just bait that from her, and I'm like, perfect, SP2, and she is gone. Not as fast as it should have been, because I went to an SP3, but totally fine. And then the last fight to wrap it up, we have node 48 Zola, which I'll of course be taking with Guardian. The plan for this fight is to go for an SP3, SP1, SP2. I do have the WAG synergy, which makes it easier because it just means I'm generating force field charges faster. So heavying to knock him down, in general, it consumes a force field, but when I'm passively gaining so much more, well, I don't think it's so much more. I think it's 35% faster. It's still a good boost. I'm free to heavy him pretty often. Of course, gonna be almost full parrying his SP1s. I like to dex out the last hit just so it's super consistent punching the SP1 there. I'm at an SP3, so no need to parry it. Just gonna dash back, wait for Bane to be on me so that I can SP3 and put it back on him. So, super duper cool. Now, I'm like, perfect. Just gonna go for an SP1 into an SP2, which should be dumpstered. Going for another heavy here. A big part of the SP1 is that I need to wait for my relic cooldown to come back anyways. You see a little shock thingy under my health, so I was just like, whatever. We're gonna be sitting here for a second anyway, so might as well go for it. It's only gonna delay the fight by like 15 seconds. And I do think it helped to one-shot him with this SP2, which I guess is kind of a spoiler alert, but this SP2 does kill him. Go for another heavy just to reset his charges. Doesn't really matter too much. And I think, yeah, just send it. Ticking for 72k. And he is absolutely smoked. So yeah, super fun war. I love cooking with Mojo. I don't really use him as much as some of my other rank 4s, so I was very thankful to get a war with him. And of course, Guardian just doing Guardian things, bro. He's smoking. He's smoking both the classics, like 48 Zola, and then he's smoking random fights like 39 Yelena. And it's just so cool, man. I love that champ. So yeah, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I promise I'll be on top of the upload schedule from now on. And yeah, I will see you all next time. Peace.